Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland, your lord and master, your king of kings, your guardian angel, off here to a 1v1 on glorious Faymonville Approach in the north. It is Oziligath fighting here for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin, taking on the role here of the spectacular 5th Mechanized Corps here with airborne troops, offensive tactics, got motor with double mine and Molotov bulletins, specifically for range. Whereas in the south it is fire and terror. Feuer und Schreck. Probably not that one. Anyways, taking on the role here of the German army, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the Brandenburger Panzergrenadier here with Storm Doctrine, Assault Support, and Jaeger Infantry with Infantry Panzergrenadier Panzerfaust. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my own personal company. Here's my patrons supporters. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon or just donate. Links in the description. And also, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Keep YouTube engaged. We got triple comps here for Oziligath. Machine rushing straight for the center here. Bold maneuver here, but fine to have this backfired before to retreat the machine gun right on the spot. And just have wasted a lot of time there already. Not a lot of time, but some time there. Which could definitely be seen as a setback here. But nonetheless, machine gets in first. Locks the door. And the surge, of course, just don't kick in the door. Because, while a lot of things happened in World War II, clearly, no one ever kicked in doors. There were limits to what you do in World War II. You might put people in concentration camps, exterminate them in horrifying ways, but you never kick in someone's door. And it's going to the country, MD40 firing at the consuls there. Up north, they few secured here for fire and terror. Consuls they're routed by the MD42. Second, he's got them moving forwards. Ground points in the east for the Pioneers. Moving eastwards. So far, triple controls, double goes to MD42. Standard stuff here so far between the two sides. Fire and terror so far. Got the center secured. Fuel points have been exposed here. Could be grabbed here by Oziligath, in which case, going to have 2 fuel points versus fire and terror. Of course, we'll have none, but he's extending more pressure into the south here. We got a lone Guineas court grabbing the victory point there. 4th control here for Oziligath. Possibly up airborne troop tactics then, since that would benefit obviously a lot from having many conscripts. I suppose it could also be gut mode to defensive, but I think defensive seems a bit less likely with this one. But I'm always, open for being surprised. Well, I mean, I'll be surprised whether I'm open to it or not. Pioneers versus country, if it happens, obviously. Pioneers versus country, 3rd Grenadier Squad, they're almost starting to fine turn the German army. I imagine he'll be taking up, yes indeed, take their fine terror. Not losing a moment to press that button. Mein Gott! Herr Hauptmann, you press the button swiftly. Ja, I've been training at the official button training institute of Baden-Baden. Mein Gott, yes. And it's going to be support here up north by the northern fuel point there. Constant units move forward straight for the southern fuel point right as fine tail backs off with the Grenadiers. Machine gun move north for the city with the Soviets there. Does leave the center field resting problem here for push from Oziligath. That's so far, no sign of that. Tech should be more or less done now here for him. Yes, indeed. I imagine we got medics on the way there for Oziligath. You could, of course, also consider the conscript grenade package. And certainly, with Molotov range, I imagine it's only going to be a matter of time before it does research it. Of course, the question is, prioritize his tech faster. Or, wants to get out those sweet, extra, flingable Molotovs. Petrov, how did we achieve that? We achieved this by making the bottles more aerodynamic. Those Indians are going to get wiped out. It's definitely been a bad call there by Oziligath. Great kill here for Fire and Terror. And then Indians got there for Oziligath. Of course, that's going to slow down the attack. Of course, just wasn't spent manpower on that. That might have been the manpower meant for the upgrade. But comrade, how did we make the bottles more aerodynamic? We added racing stripes. Oh, yes. Turns out adding racing stripes makes everything go faster. You'll soon be adding it to our tanks. And before to the conscripts. Enforcing there. Back here's bunker up there for Fire and Terror. Grab the northern point there with the conscripts. Then he's grabbing the southern victory point there, grabbing the southern fuel point. So far heavy fighting on the resource there, which is typically what you want to be seeing, They're not focusing on the resource, or just doing the center victory point. This also typically indicates it's going to be a bit of a dull match, but also a bit silly. Flanking units flanking them before 2 crew, they're catching poor Ludwig and bursting him into flames. Grabbing the northern fuel point over the Frontovics. Back here, medics almost done. Might see some panzers here for Fire and Terror. That, of course, would be a great investment. In particular, versus conscripts, the assault rifles tend to perform quite well. Mines here from Oziligath. Conscripts being pushed back there. Flanking the conscripts. Reinforcing quite up there. Mines down there. Aggressive mining from Oziligath. That is what we like to see. What Oziligath likes to see. But obviously, what the German player does not like to see. Like to make a nice company. No punch on these from fire, at least not yet. Rifling up against the conscripts. Shot fired. Didn't do any damage. Still nice attempt here. Rifle grenade is certainly a... it's one of those things that can be incredibly powerful, can also do nothing. Like, it's one of those, tend to get overlooked. Like, it's, again, it's the sort of thing that can get you a wipe if your opponent isn't paying attention. They're a bit unlucky, which means it's surprisingly really, really powerful. At the same time, it can also just end up doing nothing. It does require a bit of skill and timing, and also if your opponent pays attention, they can be dodged. But again, it can sort of get you some wipes here and there if you're paying attention and your opponent isn't. Armored car on the way there for fine head, they like to punch your Spielwagens, 222. Of course, you can fire rifle grenades willy-nilly, but, timing rifle grenades at the right time can certainly be a very handy skill and certainly give you some help as the Wehrmacht in the early game. Then it's being scorched here by the flamethrower engineers, pushed back down to 2 men, and very little help, but the armored cars arrived here to put pressure on the Oziligath. We still don't have any grenade package research there, no tech either, so the armored car right is going to be great versus Oziligath, so it's going to have no way to, really contain the armored car. I mean, the armored car's been great at containing Oziligath. Well, that's the mine there. Well, there's... no, not that. But there we go, armored car engaging. Correction machine and autocannon firing at the conscripts. Forcing them away there. With heavy, intense firepower unleashed upon the Soviet infantrymen. Machine gun right in the centre is overwhelmed by Oziligath's forces. Moving from northern field over the Pioneer. They've got minesweepers, and there we go. We do get some Panzergun dealer here for fire and terror and the German army. Panzergun halfway done. Armored car could possibly hit the mine, but avoids it. Avoids it. Thank you for having the console there. Doing some heavy damage. Damage engineer, but they can still just move to the pioneers for quickly fixed up. Fun fact that the 222 armored car was actually based off the civilian. Well, not quite civilian. It was still like a military design, but a non-armored version. It was basically like just a car made for the army, like sort of like a German Jeep, if you will, which they basically armored up. In fact, a lot of the early armored vehicle designs for the Germans were basically just based off softer stuff like non-armored half-tracks, for example, serves as the basis for the armored half-tracks, basically tractors. And you also had the heavy armored car, which simply was based off another car design. I think both probably have some horse or something like that, which made some vehicles for the German army. So little fun fact there. French reinforcing. Panzer engaging the conscripts. Need to get up closer, can get up to the effective range. May also want to course go into cubs. They do get focused down for 2 conscript squads. There you go, geballte Ladung. Almost made him into retreating into it, but didn't quite necessarily have to retreat because he gets focused down by 2 conscript squads, which is not what the Panzer is rated for. He could have, for example, gone for either Storm Doctrine or Jaeger Infantry, in which case he could have sprinted forward to quickly close the distance. That could have been a great move there. People tend to overlook how useful sprint is on units like Panzer Grenadiers. A bit like how I say, assault sprint is great on the assault grenadiers, but it's also great on Panzer Grenadiers, and you're playing in Circumit, it's also great in Stormtroopers. Incendiary armament property could be a consideration if not for the flamethrower too much clearing out there, the machine gun. Very good there. It also affected a nice fire to the usage of it, since again, if he tries to pop it, he's going to lose the machine gun. Pack 40 almost done. They're clearly concerned about the T-70 from Oziligath, though so far Oziligath is not quite concerned about the T-70, anti-aircraft half-track or anything else like that. We do have field gun out there for Oziligath and the Red Army. Center being seized, gun is right here in the south by the conscripts. Machine reinforcing healing. Panzergun's going to be reinforced, and upgrade it for fine terror, except for that one grenadier squad here. Engineers push back, up north grab the northern munition point of the Pioneer, back here reinforcing healing, medics quick to attend to the wounded, whoever's left. Machine gun there getting hit from the field gun, or grenadier squad getting hit by the field gun, which quickly backs off in the face of the Grenadiers. Again, the slight nerf in terms of received action, slight decisible nerf, I suppose, in some ways, at least mid-sized nerf, does mean that even the third Sysgun has to be a bit more careful. In fact, probably mostly, the Sysgun that really needs some sort of nerf, because again, Serb players would just keep playing it so aggressively because they know you couldn't actually realistically punish it. But again, with increased damage received, you actually have a better chance of actually clearing it out, and that's why you're actually punishing the Serb players. Of course, this of course punishes 4-man anti-tank crews even more, but yeah, no, I suppose that's the price you have to pay. Cons being suppressed here, northern points being held here. Nothing further attempt to take the for fire terror, though we do get Storm, he does like that. Ambush training, regal mines, probably up to embassy usage, smoke bombs, howitzer, and the Stuka bombing strike. We'll obviously make use of ambush count. Oh, we do get some of the Pentagonese. Thumbs up, very good there. Whether or not then also makes use of sprint, though, is another matter. But again, sprint and Pentagonese is really good stuff. Really good stuff. Machine gun setting up here. Of course, would also benefit from it on there. We do have Molotovs here, but right there, caught by the MD-42. They probably be able to pop it off soon. Going to try to get on the south. They're going to like to get pinned down soon here by their Veteran 2 machine gun, which has increased suppression. Unless they don't, apparently. That's impressively lucky there for Oziligath. Also feeling joining in there. Armored car takes a hit though from it. And damn its engine. Heavy damage to his fine terrors. Like to punch his speed bargain. Teason light tank halfway down there for Oziligath and the Red Army. Pick 40 around the center. The punts up Economic 40. Tech slowly getting ready there for fire and terror. We shall see what he pushes for first. Fast flak punch could be an option. Panzer, of course, would be sensible. And in theory, we could even go for like a Strugas. That will probably throw Oziligath's T-70 off a bit there. Field and bagging off. Panzer was the conscripts. T-some light tank out here for Oziligath and the Red Army, the 5th Mechanized Corps. Worth noting, Oziligath has yet to choose a Jokton, which certainly to me makes this more and more look like Gat Motor, so no S-54s in the conscripts, take just your 7-man upgrades. And, you know, an emphasis likely on T-3045s, maybe some Guardsmen. Possibly a heavy mortar, though those are definitely less typical. Not necessarily bad, though, but definitely required to use the barrage ability much more. And if you don't want to do that, just the regular mortar is going to be quite good as well. I'm a bush camouflage with MD-42, very good, thumbs up. Troops reinforcing healing here. The German armies are prolific users of ambush camouflage, or camouflage uniforms. Until the Waffen has had multiple patterns, whereas the Wehrmacht really only had one. I think the Luftwaffe had another, though as the war went on, it was not uncommon for the Wehrmacht and the Luftwaffe to get their hand on the Waffen as camo uniforms and use them as well. Little fun fact there. And you just grab the northern point here. Machine setting up there. Fact on the pants on this here with the trousers actually a Waffen SS ambush pattern there. I can't quite remember the pattern there, all the sort of names. Probably not Splitter, Munster or something, Munster, whatever. But anyways, fun fact there. Armored count the conscripts, Splitter Lister. I can't remember the name of it either, quite fully. But they had some bunch of variety pattern there. Armored conscript couldn't do any damage there, got them down to 3 men, but also very low on health. Armored car could theoretically finish them off here if Oziligath isn't paying attention here. Fighting for the southern fuel point, munitions point against the conscript and the Pentagon it is. Closing and letting you 2 there, very good, unless of course you are Oziligath, in which case you may not quite be sharing an opinion. Conscript there retreating backwards. Ooh, bomb grenade, he didn't quite land perfectly there for fine. Terror headed down, of course he could have gotten a white, which would have been quite painful there for Oziligath and the Red Army. So Paul McCup there for fine terror, so good. He's also got a bit of manpower float. We could consider mortar here to provide support on a machine gun, but at this point I think just the fast Osman would be amazing. Whereas Oziligath, I don't think he'd be ready for the fast flak panzer. McCup being fixed up. We got engineers on the way there for Oziligath, up road repairs, probably also attack. Laying down mines could also be an option there, obviously. Ground us on the victory point. We got 424 versus 455. Actually quite fun to the match in that sense, and there's not actually been lost a lot of victory points, and it shows this in many ways is actually a fairly close fight between these two players. Neither side's really able to get the upper hand fast, so this certainly could be a match that draws out a bit. But we shall see, there's always room for surprises, and again, a fast flak panzer would be a hell of a surprise. Guessing it's just going to go for the pencil, which again, it's fine, works, but a fast flak panzer I think would be devastating for Oziligath to have to deal with. Heading north as the Grenadiers, backed up with a light machine gun soon enough, so good. Plenty of manpower being floated, definitely think could do something with it. Fuel caches, munitions caches. More Pentagonese, mortar. Machine gun like anything. There you go, Pantherform off fire trap, that still leaves him with 400 manpower to spend. You know, and something useful. T7 there with 3 kills. Veteran T1, pack 40 about there up north, H1 but the Grenadier. Pioneers in the way for Fire and Tear. That's also a very good pick, obviously. Generally, you want for the mid to late game, in fact, most of the match, you want 2 Pioneers, since that ensures your repair speed is quite sensible. Oziligath going for the mortar, thumbs up there. Armcan getting the T-Sunny, punching straight through there. Still no doctrine for Oziligath, but the longer it goes, the more it just feels like, you know, Gart motor. I doubt he's going to go for a late airborne troop tactics. That would be, quite frankly, utterly baffling. There goes second Pioneer squad ready. Panther was also arrived here for fire turn the German army. The Panzerkampfwagen 4. Okay, fine around the western field one continues as Fire and Tear's got fairly good map control right now. This is Oziligath. His mortar has arrived. Still no son of doctrine there for Oziligath. Still no grand plan. Still no grand plan. Armor can't gain the contact by the southern munitions point. Panther going to be marching out here, troops reinforcing, because need reinforcement healing as well. Panther 4 there. Could do with the pin-up machine there. Armor can't gain the conscript. Damage engine inbound as we get an anti-tank rate straight through the engine block. Field gun hammering away at the Pack 40 crew. Desperately trying to get out of the armored car there. Ooh, almost got the conscript there with the field gun barrage, which has been awkward there for Oziligath. Machine gun keeps trying away there. Ace level. You can see now Pierce rounds could have been considered sooner, but at this point I think that's going to be a bad idea. You should just bring out the machine gun and get reinforced and healed up. Panther watching for the T-7. They almost got it. Mortar crew pinned down to the ground as the MD-42 keeps unleashing a storm of bullets against it. And Oziligath apparently not paying attention. Field gun as the Panther 4 as well. He almost got it. If he added the pin machine to the Panther 4, he might actually got in there. Panther rushing forwards there. And he's using the sprint. 2 thumbs up to Fire and Tear. He's using the sprint. Using the power of sugar-coated sauerkraut to cause the Panzers to sprint faster. My God, sugar-coated sauerkraut can sink and provide with such powers. Yeah, it's almost as good as amphetamines. Shh, don't talk about that. Call it sugar-coated sauerkraut. Oh, right. Machine gun needs to reinforce there. Comes being shot to pitch to the Panzer Grenadiers. Mortar firing down there. Still no further technique from Oziligath and still no doctrinal choice. Around the sun of victory point. Panther 4 in need of repairs. And a pin-mounted machine gun. T-Sun rolling out here for Oziligath. Gun is routed, popping out there. Just go around. How to look for Fire and Tear, a bold move here. They like to Feldhaubitze. Finish playing with the T-70. Should definitely give some artillery support here versus Oziligath, obviously. And, you know, packs a bit more of a punch than a mortar, but it's less mobile and can't provide smoke, though. I believe they actually did have smoke shells for the larger Howard artillery as well, though, in the actual war. He's routed here. Stuka bombing strike is still some time away here. Panzer moving forward towards the centre, backed up by the MD-42. And back in Oziligath's space, we finally got their mechanised armour Campanier. And at this point, I would strongly expect the T-35. I mean, it'd be very strange for them to go defensive or airborne troops at this point. Particularly airborne troops would be slightly off, to put it generously. Norfolk is around the control there. Overwhelmed and routed. No mercy there from Fire and Tear. Mechanized armor company are ready. He has the fuel more or less. He just needs the manpower and the dogs, at which point Oziligath can begin hitting Fire and Tear there with the T-35, at which point he might like to get punished for going for the howitzer because the howitzer is not going to be much use. Howitzer, by the way, is ready here, turning around there to unload its high explosive payload into the face here of Oziligath's forces. Where it's shooting at, it causes another match for him entirely. Flying around here in the south, gets in the home to catch the field gun. Gets a shot on the road, but not Soviets. Oh, close one then. The T-70 almost got it, in fact. In the actual war, that probe would have been destroyed, the T-70 entirely. I mean, most tanks were actually somewhat vulnerable to artillery strikes. It was only like the heaviest of tanks that could actually like survive and seen in some cases, like for example doing what happened during the initial bombardment of Operation Overlord. I think some bombing supporting operations, in which case you see stuff like target tanks being turned upside down due to the sheer force unleashed on them. T-34 on the first of the gaps, so no T-35. Stefan means was a bit more in the shadows as to what he's planning here. But most tanks, for example, didn't have a lot of like armor on the top, so for example, T-70, like in being closely hit by a howitzer shot like that, probably would have been, you know, sent flying or destroyed entirely. So little fun fact there about tanks and armor. Directed from the Panther on the T-70 up north, he contemplates from the northern fuel point. T-34 from 6 rolling ahead, Panther goes straight for the T-70 almost guarded, directed from the field gun there. No concept nearby, which is why I think Faymonville is playing so aggressively here. Shoots and misses, the shot just fails to do anything. Awkward there for Faymonville, still McDoctor for Oziligath over the 20-minute mark, and there's still nothing there. That's definitely a bit concerning there from Oziligath's side. Usually my personal experience is if you haven't chosen a doctrine by 20 minutes, you're usually not gaining anything. I mean, that point you usually have everything unlocked. Your opponent's got to, if he's smart as well, place the doctrines, you're making use of it, and you're still doing nothing there. So it tends to be, I think, a bit of a problem if you actually haven't chosen anything within the first 20 minutes. At which point, if you really can't decide, you may want to choose some other doctrines. Is typically my opinion there. Parts then being outmaneuvered by the T-34 from 6. Also the pack there. Definitely a bit awkward here for Faymonville, the German army. There you go. Pack crew exterminate. Another T-34 there for Oziligath. Still no sign of a doctrine. Seven kills, veteran to 1 there. Oziligath from the back for T versus Faymonville. We got info through the blazing way. Contra flanking it. Sending it running. Both tanks they need repairs for Oziligath quite badly. Heading from northern victory point here with the conscripts. Back for the southern fuel point here between Faymonville and Oziligath. The light machine gun. They can definitely have an advantage for now, unless of course the conscripts are starting to get upgraded, but they haven't upgraded. And there we go. We do get Dark Motor in the end. There's ultimately just like not really anything as we've gone for that makes much sense at this point in the fight anyway, so very much as expected. T-35 will also be a significant problem there for Faymonville's Panther Force to deal with, in particular backed up with the field gun, since the T-35s can soak up more damage, which makes them quite good for their cost. Plus, they still pack a punch and they still get easily much more firepower to gain veterancy, which makes them fairly good, again, for their cost. Hard to find away there. Mortar there being hammered by the German Leichte Feldhaubitze. Panther 4 there, number 2 ready for Faymonville. Oziligath very close to the T-35. T-7 engaging, got 8 kills, almost to ace level. Then he's been engaged by the T-34 from the north. Panther they're gaining the ace level, say good. Shot fired there, tree shattered, squirrels sent flying. And T-34 he found way for Oziligath and the Red Army. Glorious. North here, Panther going for the conscript. They're difficult in a bad spot. They're great hit. Sergei and Yuri blown to bits. Both Panther Forces again. T-34 protecting each other. There go first shot from the Panther Force misses. Second goes through. We got 90 seconds weapon nearby. T-35 almost done. Panther Force keep up the pursuit here. And that T-34 is going to go down. Doesn't gain T2. Oh, or maybe it doesn't. It doesn't. Wow, that was really lucky there for Oziligath. Modifying down the center machine and they're close to death. Plus the building it's in, it's not what I call structurally safe either. I mean, I'm sure some unscrupulous landlord would still try and rent it out, but I'd not recommend stuffing a machine gun in it. Let alone, you know, any kind of leasing or renting out there. T-34 engaging with the needs for the southern field point there. Quickly forcing retreat there before the man forgot the point. Almost getting wiped here. Close one there for Oziligath in the end, not enough. T-35 they're ready for Oziligath. Also by across with its 85mm gun, which was adapted from a Soviet anti-aircraft gun, which was, well, 85mm. Fun fact. Almost got the Pak-40 there. But only almost. Major difference between this and the T-34-6 was pretty much the gun and the turret, with the turret having better armor and overall being bigger, well, better designed. As the hull itself was pretty much the same. T-4 getting grenadiers and the Panther grenadiers out in the open, quickly getting killed with the whole machine gun. T-7 ramming as well. Almost got the Ace Panther in this quarter wiped out. Need to retreat that MD-43 joining in there, but against the T-35 that's not going to do much. And there he goes, about to lose the MD-42 team, which was definitely a bit painful for Fine Terror. But didn't push him, and the T-4 was to finish off. Up north, the T-4 was pushed the Panther 4, get the 85 in, field gun running up as well. Howitzer could find himself in the line of fire here of Oziligath's armored forces, who could actually possibly destroy it here. Up north, heading finding also ensuing here between Fine Terror and Oziligath, the Red Army, holding up the points here against Fine Terror. Howitzer keeps trying away, and we get guards wrapping out here for Oziligath. DP light machine guns on the way. Quite a bit of action here. South side could see perhaps another new frontier for Fine Terror to sneak up through. T-7 engaging the Grenadiers, quickly routing them. Sandbags in the centre. Great hit from the pack forward in the T-35, punching straight through the frontal armour. Shot fire. Misfired there, guns moving up there. Close being wiped out though. Pack shoots as well. Both hands for the T-34-6. Field gun being cleared out. The machine guns. There you go. There again, high-line hit, but Nerf can sort of just help tank deal with it. Pin up machine guns. T-35 they're being pushed back. Infantry rider as well there. Panthers keep pushing forward with Deutschland. Betty 2 gain on the Panther 4, adding the Schutzen. Very good. Thumbs up there. T-7 also seeing heavy damage. The Panther 4s are being met with significant resistance here from Oziligath and may have to consider backing up. But no, he pushes forward with the veteran one there. As again, it can shrug off a bit more damage, but only so much before it gets knocked down as well. Pretty risky there by Fine Terror. In this case, though, does not get punished. Back hits, reinforcing healing for Fine Terror. The German army, Deutschland. Machine gun in ambush mode here. 24 kills. Other Panther rushes forwards there. Gets a damaged engine. I think that was a bit of a mistake there by Fine Terror. He's clearly hoping to get some extra damage and to get some kills, but he might risk losing the Panther 4 here. But looks like, oh, the artillery fires well in the armor position. He's hoping to hit it. First shot goes off the mark. You see there, Oziligath what's going on. They tries to get away, but there goes direct in the T-35. Any mentions one the howitzer. T-35 though survives, but again, had been an actual howitzer shot on an actual T-35 there, that probably would have looked a bit different. Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführungen here for Fine Terror. That's going to be helpful with the T-35 and other armor. Can have it finish more faster, and also make it a bit harder for Oziligath to just charge ahead. We got 371 to 246 so far. Fine Terror's victory upon leader Oziligath, but something that Oziligath could later turn around, particularly with more T-35s. He could also eventually consider the Katyusha rocket launcher to provide additional artillery support here over the mortar, which has got 7 kills and ace level. Another consideration to be actually set up for a push through the centre using a smoke screen, obfuscating the machine gun and pack position, plus anything else, and then making a quick push here versus Fine Terror, which could cause them quite some grief. Well, these side smoke screens can be quite disruptive for a defence, and make it much easier for like an attack to make rapid gains and, you know, destroy the opponent's units because he can't coordinate fire. North at T-7 engaging. Ace level, 10 kills. Then he's being hammered by the T-70, T-35 good to go, 6 kills. T-34 from 6 ready with 12 kills, ace level. Grab the Southern Point T, or Center Point, MD4 through the ace level still, 24 kills. Still no instant ammunition rounds from Fine Terror though, slightly disappointed at that. Slightly disappointed. As it is, as I state many times, and perhaps too many times, it's a really good ability. It gives you such a damage boost that is, I think, not something you should be ignoring. But there you go, HD5 here for Oziligath. Got the Stuke 3D ready here for Fine Terror. The Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung. Early model, by the way. Roughing it off against the Guardsmen. And decent hit, they're not the best. Partly due to the heavy cover. Gun is wiped though. Painful blow there to Fine Terror. Should add the pin machine to the Stuke in my opinion. HD5 halfway down here. Moving headed to put more pressure on the tanks. Didn't pick up not diving too far though. Good hit. Veterans 1 gained. Opening up for the heat shell. The Stukes I think would usually carry like a few rounds off. In fact, the Stuke's ammunition load was typically something like 66% high explosive shells and then 33% armor piercing shells, and then, like, you know, some armor piercing or heat rounds as well. Though That's the official number. As it turns out, though, most Duke crews would basically just remove the ammunition racks and then just load up extra ammunition, meaning they could carry a lot more ammunition they normally were designed for. It obviously also created some hazards inside this Duke as well. Also could make things a bit messy, but there was also something Surd crews did with their tanks as well. But little fun fact there. It's not something you hear a lot of talking about there, how they store stuff and like that, but you know. But again, even then, with that, I'd still imagine they had a large amount of high explosive shells and like the Strook, even like they just added more armor-piercing rounds unofficially. Another Strook here for Fire and Terror, very good, 2 thumbs up. You typically want 2 Strooks working together, that way they can quickly focus down a tank and destroy it. Still, I think you should add a pin-up machine gun. I also really would like to see a half-track for reinforcement healing, but of course also laying down Regal Mines. I mean, Regal Mines here would be great to conjunction with the Stooks. It would be absolutely amazing. At least in my opinion. I mean, generally just Regal Mines are great though. I mean, most mines that can immobilize it's just, you know, you have to go for some dogs, which I personally find a bit lackluster to get the Regal Mines. I was thinking the T-35 there. Well, they are being engaged, and they are quickly being sent packing. Here's 5 ready here for Oziligath. And there goes second Strook ready here for Fire and Terror and the Brandenburger Panzergrenadier Division. Shot fired, both miss unfortunately. Got it down to half health. I want to back off on the Strook here. There we go, just added. He's pushing ahead with both. I think should have kept the other one moving forwards. Backing off the other one there. This ends up being slightly poorly coordinated, I think, by Fire and Terror. Ends up losing the risk with both Strooks as they get down, focused down easily now. Bad call there by Fire and Terror, unfortunately. Also, you might actually want to consider using the heat shells there, but yeah, that could have been, I think, handled better there. Ooh, Strook a bomb strike. I don't think they'll be able to avenge the loss of 2 glorious Stooks. Maybe it will. No. So yeah, that was a bit of waste there by Fire and Terror. The action could have been coordinated better there. Could have been coordinated better. Should I think sending some infantry first, then have the Strooks back them up to better utilise the range. But that's just that. Still, he made the effort. He made the effort. Panzer IV there, halfway to the Ace-Love. Gunners find whether they're close to being wiped out. Howitzer is now in counter battery mode. There's enough Panzer IV blitzing in there. Going to try and finish off. He moved up the Pack 40 as well there. Might risk losing that one as well. H5 main gun out, but the Panzer IV is close to being destroyed. He could actually send in the T-34 against that. We even clear up the Pack 40, but interesting enough, he's not doing that. More to wipe though here by the Howitzer. Need to get them H35 away from that area though. And far up north, the T-70 backing off as well. The south side is just more or less been forgotten here by Fire and Terror, and certainly by Oziligath as well.
We have 200 points remaining.
Pack 40 number 2 on the way here for Fire and Terror. The Panzerabwehr 49. Countering northwards. Fixing up the Panzer IV. T-35 number 2 on the way for Oziligath to replace the one lost to the Germans. And it has been backed up with the heavy machine gun with 28 kills. Now, the MG42 has really been doing some serious lifting here for Fire and Terror. The 28 kills. That is some real kill tally there, but again, probably would hardly use the same arm-piercing rounds. They're shooting there. James could try and rifle grenade. Maybe got controlling on the flank and then E42, but there you go. Caught right to try to hit the flank there. 29 kills, Pack 40 moving up. T-35 there, almost done for Fire and Terror. There you go. Another T-34, 85. T-56 going up here from the centre, straight in the MD-42, clearing out at least the gunner somewhat and getting the country close enough to pop the Molotov there. Panzer rushing forwards, almost ace-level on that one. In fact, both Panzer IVs are getting close to the ace-level there. And 2 ace-level Panzer IVs, or pocket Tigers, could be a bit of a significant issue there for Oziligath. T-35, the father, they're going back to flank in behind them. That could be a problem here, particularly conjunction with the marked target, except he doesn't have the missiles for it, or marked vehicle. Howitzer keeps flying away there. 12 kills, about T2. Definitely causing some grief inside here, the base for Oziligath. T7 can try and maybe do some extra damage. Ooh, good hit on the pack crew there, not enough to finish it off, but it's a start. Still, Oziligath needs to come up with something to do. There you go, Pantherful flanked by the T-35. There you go, Pack 40 already to support here. Punching several large shots into the T-35's their frontal armour. Forcing that to disengage, but not before it takes the Pantherful down to half health itself. North side bit open there, so it's push. Stug again here for Fine Terror. Thumbs up. The Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung G. Fun fact about the Stugs, the Soviet army was actually so impressed by them, they actually tried to copy them in part by converting old Panzer IIIs into their own version of the Stug, but also by creating designs like the Issue-5, which were strongly inspired by the Stug's design. So, fun fact there about the Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung G. Well, later models, I guess. And earlier ones. Picks up the Panzer IV. Bit of quiet there. And there you go. First ace little Panzer IV here for Fire and Terror. Increasing stability and rate of fire. Let's do ready. We've got the house. There we go. Direct hit. Wiping out an entire conscript. A guard squad in front of that. Writhing in pain. And then finished off there with another shockwave. Direct hit on the T-7 light tank. Panzer IV ace moving forwards here. So look up there from second a bit of a awkward spot. He definitely needs something, I think, to drastically change the situation here against Fire and Terror. Again, another mortar just from smoke could be helpful there, but there you go, pushing forwards here with the Panther IV and the Stugs here. Catching the T-7 in a pretty bad spot, almost got it. T-35 moving in, that's some 6 actually, Issue-5 flying away there. Almost got the Panther IV ace level in the Issue-5 there. T-35 is also the ace level, of course. Still being pushed back here, but the sheer amount of firepower which Fire and Terror's leveraging here. And the south fire in the base, we got riding through here. Fire and Terror's base going to go for the howitzer from an angle. Fire and Terror's expecting. He's going to try and back down to do return around, in which case he could push forward here for the base as well. But Oziligath, he is responding to the attack in the base here, trying to defend the howitzer. And this he backs off with the T-35. There you go. Caught the Pack 40 and a target weak point there, stunning the crew line. The ace Panther for the Stugs to finish it off here. A gambit here that didn't quite pay off. But now we got the Issue-5 rushing forward here to flank here. Fire and Terror aircraft shot down, but caught by another Pack 40 here. Not enough support here. Infantry for Oziligath. The loss of the guard squad definitely hurt him there. T-35 further backing off as Fire and Terror keeps up the pursuit here of the third tank. Ace Panther IV they're moving in. In fact, both Panther IVs are ace level. Stug also moving in there. Katyusha rocket launching way for Oziligath. T-35 there continues to slug it out here with the German armor. Howitzer firing again here. Fixing it up there, very good. 2 thumbs up the Fire and Terror. They got 19 kills, slowly approaching the ace level base there. Continue to be subjected to intense German artillery bombardments. Panzer Squad in the building. I think he'll do more in the south here. Again, I'm surprised he hasn't really been doing more there. Oh, he's finding some kind of ideas. Of course, need to fix up his armor. And he really should upgrade the Stug with a pin-up machine gun, in my opinion. Katyusha ready here for Oziligath. T-7 north here, going for the northern victory point. Assisting 2 conscript, then launching a small platoon level attack.
We are losing a sector.
Panzer they retreats though. We got 3 and 47 on the 32. So got the time for information there in terms of victory points here versus Fire and Terror. Gradient from the Pack 40 and the T-34s from 6. Ace level gained on it. Crafting out of the country, not doing too much there. South guns with the conscripts there as well. Panther 4 being fixed up. Stug Panther rushing northwards. Molotov from the Grenadiers, burning them up and forcing them away. Stug rushing forwards for the glory of Deutschland. Back here, Panzer reinforcing for the glory of Deutschland. Panzer gets a great hit there. Ace Panther to the T-35. Shot bounced. Pioneers pushing forward here, but with the conscript on the blocking the way, they can't make any further gains. Up north here, Pentacles probably going to push here. Conscript can hold out for some time against the units here, but there you go, backs out to avoid that. 336. Could go for another Stuke here, could also, I think, go for an Osman maybe. Howitzer firing into the bases again. 20 kills on it. Very close to the ace on that Howitzer crew. And a field gun now almost done for Oziligath once more. And the 5th Mechanized Corps. Contra flank up behind the Panther 4. Comes the flank behind there, artillery fire, there you go. Hits the machine gun crew, hits the pack. Almost wipes out the ace machine gun crew, but sadly not enough here. And we got the T-Fed force, which was the Stuke, which gains veterans 1. Opening up for the heat shell. Cut reinforcing healing. T-Fed for 70. They found their flanking the Panther 4. Avis almost got it. That'd be definitely a great kill here for Oziligath. Shot misses though. And we got Pack 4 coming in there further, dissuading Oziligath from keeping up the pursuit and backing off for the T-3035 once more. Kachu's going to take some time for him to fire again. Howitzers almost ready to unleash another volley of death here. Against Oziligath's positions up north here, we got the Panthers could still hold up inside the Manor House. South side is still seeing absolutely no action for the most part, but it's been forgotten by both players. Howitzer firing around the centre, looking to push the Consuls back there. Very close to getting the ace level there. Still not quite here for Flying Terror. Between 36 was on the 33. Flying Terror continue to maintain lead here versus Oziligath. T-3045, they're slowly approaching, very slowly approaching the T3, but it may get there eventually. One day. Back reinforcement healing for Flying Terror. Northfield contracting with the Panther in the DC. 16 kills. Ace level, there go. Molotov Pants pushing forward, take across the open ground and quickly just making short work of the Consuls barely getting a shot before the 2 men are down, and the rest have seen better days suddenly as well. Another Katusha barrage here though from Oziligath, once more unleashing a rocket storm in the centre, hoping to shatter Flying Terror's front line and his resolve, but mostly shatters the ground, and even then not particularly impressively. MD42 there with 33 kills, and good lord! It's very rare to get to see an MD42 with that many kills, honestly, but here we are with Flying Terror. It's just absolutely murdering Oziligath like it's no one else's business. So far rang down here, close to hitting any of the Oziligath's arm, but so far most shots are not hitting anything. Also very close to the ace level still. There we go. Engineers splattered across the tank, giving a nice coat of red there. Of course, getting the ace level. Ooh, further engineers dying there to the Howitzer. Pack's firing at the H-55, Stu joining as well, I imagine. And there you go, Ace H-55 there down. Ooh, hit there on the T-34 from 6. Another H-55 there for Oziligath and the Red Army in the south bit of maneuvering here as well. As Flying Terror finally tried to make some progress, but Oziligath quickly was in to block it. Against trying to get the center victory, being met by intense resistance here from Oziligath, and we got a Stuka bomb strike here. Possibly on the field gun. Sounds like it. The Jericho trumpet can be heard. Got one man dead, but I guess crucially pushed back the field gun for a bit here. Almost got the T-55 there. Stuke backing off, they backed up the Ace Panther 4. Still good benefit from machine on the Stuke. There you go, second issue 5 ready here for Oziligath and the Red Army. We got Fin 27 to 122. That's going flying. Artillery up north here. Guns being hammered here. Panzer IV there, knocked out. Fine, knocking out one of those Panzer IVs here. Small win for Oziligath, but he's still got a lot to kill. He still has a lot of gains to make fast. Versus Fine Terror. Second ace Panzer IV also heavily damaged here. Another Panzer IV there for Fine Terror. Very good. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Do very, very close to vetting 2 there. Should still out the pinlock machine, but that's just me. North Panzer Squad could have bound to northern munitions point if they wanted to. We got 14 versus under 22. Match keeps going on here, as neither side can really seem to gain a major advantage on the other one. There you go, fresh Panzer already here for Fine Terror. Then this was the T-70. Panzer was the conscript, shot fired, missed. Bit of back and forth. Find some moment, attention from Fine Terror in the south here. They could do with some minor armoured support there, perhaps sending the new Panzer IV to assist. Here we find around the centre, get a big push here from Oziligath. Looking to outmaneuver, Fine Terror well important away from the centre. Finding CoH2 strike joining in here. SD armour joining in. There we go. Issued firing, but neither the T-34 tank is being seen or the T-70. So far they're clearing out one of the pack crews. Our machines being pushed back. The pack could also go down. This could be it for Oziligath. It's now or never, do or die in a gulag. Conscript, they're wiped out. Oh dear. In the end, not enough follow-up here for Oziligath in the south here. Bit of quiet as well there. Howitzer being hammered by the... hammering the Katyusha, not being hammered, but is hammering it. North here fighting for the extra point continues. Current transport there wiped out. A stinging blow there to Fine Terror. In the south, T-34 the pushing back. They're going to be easy. We got 313 versus 100 victory points. Another Panzer IV there for Fine Terror. North there, Panzer IV Ace clears out the T-70. Another T-34 6 on there for Oziligath to replace the lost tank. Constant fire here from the Panzer IV. We got 37 kills in that. Really just came through Oziligath there. 38. 97 points left for Oziligath. Holding on for dear life. Another field button here to try and make it harder for Fine Terror to push in the centre victory point. Third Panzer almost done. Rushing straight for the centre of the Panzer Force. Fine Terror seemingly throwing all caution to the wind now. Going in hard while shouting, Deutschland über alles! Shattering Oziligath's confidence as son he's attacked here by the mighty German Panzerwaffe. Tanks exploding and not, well, mostly not his. But actually do see a Panzer IV down there. Got Katyusha down. T-34 down. Phil getting in trouble there. Goes Stug following up here in the wake of the glorious push. Another T-34 down there. Stug slowly approaching. Actually face shoot. Shot from the field gun there. Quick cleared out in a moment. Artillery fire there. Shatters the field gun crew. And this is Oziligath in the centre. Finds himself in a lot of trouble. There you go. More casualties. No infantry left. T-34 then in trouble. Field gun about to get knocked out as well there. If only they added machine gun to the Stug, to clear out the field gun there. If only it added machine gun fire, Terror, if only. So it's going to lose the Stug right before. Always add penlock machine guns to your Stugs, period. Still, at this point, I don't think Oziligath any way to turn this match around. He's just suffered too many losses now. He's got one tank, an engineer, and a field gun. And meanwhile, Fine Terror certainly suffered some losses as well. Has got more infantry, more armour, and more victory points. Flanking the T-34 from 6, good hit. Another Panzer IV there for Fine Terror. In the centre, got Trusman Forts here for Fine Terror as well. Two engineers in the field, left for Oziligath. At this point, there is no way he can win this. short of divine or government intervention. And there you go. GG, game over. Loss here for Oziligath, a victory for Faymonville. In the end, I think Oziligath should have played more aggressively, tried to outmaneuver his opponent more, should use smoke screens, and you're probably considered more Gassman. Faymonville, I think, played quite well there, but, you know, could have been more aggressive sooner. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This has been Pearl Ding saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.